talked to a fireman once. He goes, dude, one day, he goes, it's just going to be the right wind and fire's going to start in the right place and it's going to burn through LA all the way to the ocean and there's not a thing we can do about it. I go, really? He goes, yeah, we just get lucky. He goes, we get lucky with the wind. He goes, but if the wind hits the wrong way, it's just going to burn straight through LA and there's not going to be a thing we can do about it. Because these fires are so big, dude. When they're talking about like thousands of acres that are burning simultaneously with like 40-mile-an-hour winds. And the wind's just blowing embers through the air, and those embers are landing on roofs, and those houses are going up, and they're landing on bushes, and those bushes are going up, and everything's dry. And once it happens in a way where it's so spread out that there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do.
You just have to evacuate, right?
Nothing they can do. They just got to get out of there. They spent $24 billion last year on the homeless.
Yeah.
And what did they spend on preventing these wildfires? Zip.
And in 2019, I think Newsom said, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
And then on top of that, they cut the water off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all funny. And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel.
And then he gets on TV and pretends like everything's great. Mm-hmm. And California's the best. We have the best state. We have the most amazing economy. And like, you're out of your mind, dude. You've ruined this state. Like, personally ruined it.
A new fire has broken out in the Hollywood Hills in Los Angeles, threatening landmarks like the Dolby Theater, where the Oscar ceremony is to be held in just a few weeks. Authorities have ordered evacuations for thousands of people. Firefighters are so far unable to contain several blazes raging across the Los Angeles area. At least 5 people have died and more than 1,000 buildings have been destroyed.
I felt like it could fall apart at any moment. It was always like, I was always waiting for the next earthquake or the next fire. I was evacuated 3 times from my house from fires. Yeah. Last one, 2 houses in front of my house burnt to the ground. Right in front of my house.
What the
Yeah, the wildfires were crazy.
Yeah, it's scary, right?
Scary. When you see them coming, I came home from the Comedy Store, and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and me and my wife were looking out the window at the fire coming over the hill. And we made an early call. We said, look, if we're wrong, we'll come back. The house is still here, but let's just get the out of here now. I'm like, that's too close. They weren't evacuating yet. I'm like, let's get out of here. And so we got all of our shit, and we got a hotel in Beverly Hills. And then next thing you know, it swept through our neighborhood.
That's horrible.
It burnt 40 houses in my neighborhood.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, it's crazy.
So the big story yesterday, and will be around the country and possibly around the world, is the burning down of Southern California. And it's just odd. President Biden was forced to put off his press conference where he's going to make other land, like Joshua Tree, into a land that you couldn't drill on. He decides to go and appear with Governor Newsom, at which time he says this about the fires.
Good news is I'm a great-grandfather as of today. Oh, his granddaughter, 10-pound, 4-ounce baby girl, a baby boy.
Is that the best time to announce your baby boy, baby girl?
No, he's been an absent leader for 4 years. The Democrats have been covering it up. Now the media is coming out and saying that's the worst cover-up they had, and they regret covering for him. You have a leader that's not there. President-elect Trump has been the president since November 5th, basically now. And obviously he's leading from the front. He's also calling out Governor Newsom and Mayor Bass on their inadequate leadership.
So can you tell us what's going to happen with these winds going into next week?
Well, I can tell you that the winds themselves are not unique events. Every autumn and winter, we get anywhere from 12 or 24 days of these Santa Ana winds. So that in itself is not unique. What is different about these winds is they're much more severe than usual. Normally, the winds are blowing at 30, 40 miles per hour. These were clocked sometimes up to 100 miles per hour. So it was quite different in terms of the severity of the winds. That's not normal, but it's not unique. We have had severe winds like this in the past.
Well, let's take a closer look, shall we, at some of the consequences. We've just heard them, but we can see them as well through satellite imagery. Here on the left, buildings on Marathon Road, Altadena. You can see the swimming pools people's ordinary homes, ordinary lives. All of that completely changed, completely decimated, completely burned. The swimming pool's there, blackened. The homes blackened, the buildings destroyed. Here on the left, we can see Fair Oaks Avenue, also in Altadena, a very similar scene. Ordinary, typical homes. Here, the satellite image obscured for the most part by the smoke, but you can see these pockets of flame that were people's houses in exactly the same place. Let's move south, shall we, to Pacific Palisades. We've talked so much about it. These are homes along Tuna Canyon. You can see the canyon above. The homes and the cars along the highway there. All of these homes completely destroyed. One, possibly two, possibly still intact. One of them, definitely, still on fire. Let's show you the ground level situation. We heard from Patricia about her home, about her neighbours' homes. She knows that many of them were destroyed. It will be scenes like this for so many people in the region. This is the coastal highway. You can see here the flames of where this building was. You can see these light areas. This is the picket fence that is also in the front of that shot. The consequences of an ongoing natural disaster.
Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now. Losing the school.
Everyone who went to school there, they lost their homes. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one and building another. Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
To
everything
fill the
I can.
hydrants. I would fill them up personally, you know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
I would. I understand.
But would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not!
We'll be talking to that mom in a little bit. But did Gavin just fake a phone call to get out of talking to a voter? Is that what we're doing now? I'm on the other line with the president. Just trying to get some cell service here. It's a big call. It's too late. What's Biden going to do? Make it rain? It's the most destructive fire in LA County history. 30,000 acres, more than the size of Manhattan. $50 billion in damages. Thousands of homes, buildings, and businesses burnt to a crisp. 180,000 people have been forced to evacuate, and they don't know when or if they're coming back. And Joe Biden's making fire jokes.
Madam Vice President, I know you're directly affected, so you fire away. No pun intended.
Indeed. Thank you, Mr. President.